All right, hello everyone. So let's take a look at the market this week. Now, I've already posted the Astro hours and the possible swing days. Let's start with gold as usual. It's a new week. Now, remember, we had this level, which the market did last week, plus we had that level all the way up there, and that's what the market did. We should have a bit of a retracement back to fill in. All right, so we should get some filling done, and that should bring us back down later on. Now remember, we had this target up here, so seeing the market up here on Friday, not actually surprising. All right, so that's that, and then we've got this happening. There we go. All right, so now we can move this forward into here. Okay, and this is going to be our zone. So at the end of the day, we still need to come back to the Saturn line. If you want to sell, selling is not a bad idea, but we do have a war going on in the Middle East, plus Ukraine and Russia. So there are a bit of tensions in the air, but the market should essentially come back at least towards this line here. It's going to be your 1880 zone. Okay, but at the end of the day, when the market comes back down, we need to be buyers going up. So it should like kind of wave down, maybe wave sideways and then come in here. But this purple zone, okay, this purple zone sooner or later needs to be addressed by the market, okay, one way or another. So that's that. All right, and the sooner we get down here, the better it is that we can go long again. So look out for your swing days. I've posted them as well. And today's actually a swing day for gold. So selling the highs is not a bad idea. On the monthly, let's take a look at the month of October. We might still have a bit of room to go up there, as you can see. In terms of the weekly, though, 53 is your sell zone, which is 1936. So 1936. I think we had 1936 last week as well. Pretty much there. All right, so 1936. So if the market touches up here, okay, and then at an astrological hour, selling is not a bad idea. If it breaks above it anyway, don't stand in front of it, because then we're going to get up here, which will be the 60 zone in the 1990 zone there. See, 1989, 1990. All right, so don't stand in front of it. Just let it do what it needs to do. And like I said, selling back down is not a bad idea. If you want to, you can use smaller lot sizes, because we're kind of like against the move. But if you want to wait for the market to come back down into the weekly pivot, you can then buy to go up as well. All right, so don't just think sell mode, because the market also has potential, okay, that you can buy. So buying for us is going to be around the 1880s, okay. Let me just refresh this. All right, so down there. So coming back down to the equilibrium at an Astro hour is also possible to go up. Let me just put the Astro hours for today here on gold. All right, there it is. Okay, so I told you I already put that in the members area, so it's all fine. A bit of a retracement, like I said, is in order. This weekly pivot zone, if it comes down here, it's not a bad spot either. If it goes up into that 1936, it's not a bad level either. The monthly you see here on the goodbye kiss, so open up the monthly, is there, 56. It's 1962. Okay, so if it does break out, you've got room to go, because that's your 1962, okay, on the monthly. And if it breaks above this anyway, you're going to look to get to 1990s. All right, so if it breaks up, okay, we should have, though, we should have a swing today. So maybe we'll come down and then go up, and then the market might go up as well. But we need to fill in some place, and the trick is we still have this gap here, okay, which is like crucial from last week. Yeah, that's still there. So sooner or later, this is why I'm saying we should get to the Saturn line again for a retest. Okay, just be mindful if it gets there. SP 500, let's take a look. It's a new week. Beautiful. So it looks like we're breaking out here. Remember last week we're also buys. Okay, so no problem there. On the daily is there. Now we were buyers up to here, but remember I said we're going to be selling as well. So this zone was a sell zone. All right, so Thursday and Friday definitely was the sell there. And if you take a look at your swing days, if I don't recall, we should have something in there. SP 500 Wednesday, that's your Wednesday there. All right, so the market goes up, SP 500 Wednesday, and it starts to push down 2 days. Now, remember, the market is down, so when it comes up, want to be selling, and that's your good buy kiss there exactly. And remember, Dow Jones was a swing day on a Thursday as well, so that's just like really, kind of like enforced it. Now, what we can do is carry on selling, okay, but this is a bit tricky here because it's right on that PST zone, but we want to be sellers. Okay, we should want to be sellers. So what we're going to do, we don't mind selling around here, okay, or testing a little bit higher on the daily. Let's see that LCL1 4353 4353. Well, selling the high is not a bad idea. 4353 is there. All right, so selling the highs is not a bad idea. This is Friday, as you can see, sell off here, sell off there, and that's where the buck stopped. So if we go back up again, selling I think is the way to go on this one. On the bigger time frame as well, if you take a look at the daily, we should be just flowing down with this. Okay. Your first target is going to be this 41, so be careful for 4,290. You can take that for a target. 4,290 is going to be here. All right, so this is your target zone on the weekly. Yeah, on the weekly, it's just how it is. All right, we'll see how things pan out. And that's it. Let me just double check the monthly. 4427. If it does get higher, that's another place you could sell at 4427. It's a bit too far out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this here. And let me just push this down a little bit. 4427. All right, it's a bit far out, but we'll keep it in mind in case the market does surprise us. Okay. Euro dollar, let's take a look at the weekly. It's a new week. PST level last week, sell off 38 this week, 1.0580. 1.0580 is here. So if it does come up here, you can sell it off. On the daily, let's take a look. We're right on the support, so we need to break 37, 1.05. 1.05 is here. Okay, so the market needs to break basically this 05 level here. Once you break the 05, it's kind of game over. Then selling is not a bad idea. If you want to sell at Astro hours from around here, it's not a bad idea at all. Okay, that's your weekly pivot there as well. It's also sellable if the market comes up into that zone. On the daily, that's too far out. On the weekly, let's see if we've got a place to sell. We already checked that out. Monthly, no, that's fine. Have we got room to go into the 40s? Maybe we will. It's a bit far out, but we'll keep an eye out for that one. On the weekly 29, 0452. So 0452 is also on the cards, and I think we should keep it in mind. Okay, 0452 is there. All right, so going into these levels, I think, is the way to go with this. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and Bitcoin. All right, so this is Dow Jones. Now, Dow Jones, this is Thursday, swing day, as you can see, and that's your Friday, retesting that. So let's see what we've got here for Dow Jones. Now, right on targets, as you can see last week, but it's a new week, so let's take a look at the week. Once again, this will be your resistance, HCL1 33917. So that's your first port of call, 33917. Just going to get rid of that, 33917. All right, so it's not a bad spot, selling from these levels again. On the daily, let's see if there's anything interesting. Goodbye kiss at 52, 33,806. It's also not a bad place. 33,806 is going to be just there. Not bad either. So this is not a bad place to sell. That's not a bad place to sell at Astro hours. Both good. On the monthly, I think we've got room to go further down. So any push up, we should be pushing down. Remember here, this is where we want to get down to. Okay, let's take a look at NASDAQ. So let's take a look. It's a new week. So this is NASDAQ. 60, 15,354. So we should 15,354. It's about here. Okay, if it does get that far, but the weekly pivot, I don't mind selling off at the weekly pivot plus this zone here. Okay, so this is a pretty safe area as well. Let's take a look at the daily. So you're right on the support here. So this is a place where you do not want to sell on that line, which is 15. What is it? 15,002. So you want to break 15,000, which should be here. All right. So breaking this level is not a bad idea either. There. And then we should go down. If we break down 41.38, so 14,755. 14,755. So it's around here, so we should come back into that zone, and also 38, 14,619. We'll put them as targets there, 14,619. Okay, and that's pretty much it. 15,306 on the price. A, B, C. No, 1, 2. So could this be? That would be what? 3. So we might just have another up. If we do, we need to sell again. So I'm going to get rid of this. 63.65. 15,541. 15. I'm just going to keep this on record. and 741. I'll tell you why. Because of the weekly target there. Okay. Now the trend, I think it should be going down. All right. So with the indices, you know me, if it goes up, selling is what I want to do. All right. So anything into there, I think we should be selling off. And this is a trend, it's going downwards, and we should go lower. Okay, and we should come all the way down here. So that's basically what I think should be happening. So if it goes up, we want to be sellers, and those are some levels we should keep in mind. Okay, at the end of the day, this zone is okay. This little gap fill is okay. This Friday high is also okay. So if we see the market up a little bit, it shouldn't surprise us, but we should be selling down into that zone. And this is why I think it looks logical. It's a nice up move, and we should be coming down further. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now this is Bitcoin. So we've got Monday here, as you can see. Not bad as well. Market filling the gap there. So selling, I think, is not a bad idea. It's a new week, so that goodbye kiss is 51. 27,413. And this zone is not bad as well. So around here, this zone is okay. I think you could sell from here. This zone, well, I'm marked here as well. That's going to be your first zone on the weekly, as you can see. Right, we should head down towards 45, which is 26,272. So we've got 26,272. All right. And 26,272. 46, 26,480. 26,480. So we should come down into this zone a little bit. All right. So I think selling is not a bad idea. As you know, I'm expecting the market to come lower. Okay, so every time we go up, I've been telling you to sell. I've also been telling you to buy in January. Remember mid-Jan? That was the time when Mars retrograde was out of the game, and then the market just pushed up, as you can see. Okay, so, but if we're up here, like, we should be in the sell kind of attitude there. That's what I'm thinking. So also the market took out the stops, as you can see here. So filling in the gap, selling off again, it's not a bad idea. We just need to break these lows here. Be careful here. This is a buy zone, so no selling in this zone. But as the market goes up, I'm in favor of selling it downwards, as usual.